Hello everyone. This is a series where we take a look at characters from different forms of media and try to recreate them in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. Here we'll be using a point-buy system and only use officially released options, so this does include Tasha's new rules. There is no UA and we don't assume your DM allows a free feed at level 1. We also don't worry about background options because those can be interchanged with a custom background, so there really is no need to go in depth with that. These builds are purely for fun and I doubt we will ever build something truly optimal. Instead, we try to go for as close a recreation as we can. Oh, and if you ever have any suggestions for future characters or other fun considerations for the current character we're talking about, please leave them down in the comments below. With that being said, let's begin. So let's get started with the Guilty Gear themselves, Sol Badguy. Sol can be built in a variety of ways. You can have him with a dragon install, or not, depending on if you're going with Holy Order Sol, which is mostly just a paladin. I mean, it really is just a paladin. It's called a Holy Order Sol for a reason. It doesn't get more paladin than that. In Strive, it doesn't look like Sol has a dragon install either, mostly because I think they've given that to Kai. So if you really wanted to, you can possibly tweak this build just to suit Kai instead. The Sol I decided to go with was from Guilty Gear XR. Sol has a dragon install in that, and it's probably my favorite one, but I'm building something that I think can emulate the gung-ho style that Sol possesses. So I went with 8 levels of Red Draconic Bloodline Sorcerer, and the rest being 12 levels of Vengeance Paladin. Point buy did make this a little tricky, but I think it could still work if you're going up to level 20, or if you're playing in a one-shot. Either way, I think it's really fun. I did go with Warforce for a little bit of accuracy. I don't think he's considered human anymore, at least. So there's nothing wrong with going with human variant here. It might actually be better, because you can just take Aberrant Dragon Mark from the start. And the reason why you take Aberrant Dragon Mark is because in the actual feat itself, it does say that once you cast your Sorcerer spell, you do have a slight change in appearance. I think this is fine. I think that's hardly noticeable, right? I think it fits the description just fine. So at 20, this is what it would look like. Here are some of the feats that I think are pretty good additions to the build. Ray Weapon Master is pretty obvious. Tough, as well as Aberrant Dragon Mark, as I said earlier, does add a little bit more flavor to that. You don't really need Warcaster, considering you're not going to be using a shield for this build, but the advantage on con saves do help, especially with haste. Thankfully though, with Paladin, you do have a plus 13 or plus 12, depending on how you want to build it specifically. So unless if you're really unlucky or taking immense damage, you should be okay with your con saves. I've also included a list of spells that I think are necessary to recreate Sol Badguy. Nothing too crazy. Firebolt can easily be flavored as a gun flame. Heck, even Burning Hands works just as fine too. And if you want to use that Volcanic Viper, Green Flame Blade is perfect. Granted, it's green, not red, but it's still fire. It still looks cool. I think that's what we really care about here. Thanks to Tasha's, we can take Quicken as well as Transmuted Spell. Now you can also make Shocking Grasp that perfect command grab. The basic game plan here is going to be Quicken Haste and then take the attack action and go hit, hit, hit. Or you can Quicken Green Flame Blade and go hit, 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 hit. You are going to hit quite a lot. And with Smites on top of that, you have the perfect replacement for Tyrant Rave. So to recap, we've managed to get some of Sol's signature moves and features through these abilities. Being a Draconic Sorcerer up to level 8 gives you even more affinity with fire, unless you reduce some damage from the element as well. But we mostly do that for the additional damage on some of your spells and cantrips. We mostly went with the 8 levels for sorcery points, so you can always go less sorcerer and more paladin, or even 4 levels in fighter if you want to get real freaky. Those levels in paladin let us become a possible tank, granting us martial weapons. With martial weapons comes Sol's signature Fire Seal Sword. Now for feats, Aberrant Dragon Mark gives us an excuse for Dragon Install's change of appearance, while Shield can work as your faultless defense. Thunderclap works as a nifty burst, and Quicken Spell can act like a Roman cancel or your general extended combo. Haste just adds even more to that motif, and you even get that moment to catch your breath for accuracy. Green Flame Blade, Firebolt, and any other fire spell can give you the effect of your Ground or Volcanic Viper as well as Gunflame. Smites, as we know, are perfect for replicating Tyrant Raves, and if you ever get that critical hit and smite, that's a branding breach right there that can easily destroy your opponent. But I think that wraps up Sol Badguy pretty well. Our character is now complete, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, don't forget to subscribe for more in the future. And as always, thank you for watching.